like rock en español, but like pop and all that, you wouldn't, on first glance, you wouldn't say, hey man, they're from Mexico, right? Just because like their type of music, right?
Or you ask somebody who doesn't know too much about the Mexican culture, like, hey, what kind of music comes from Mexico? They're not going to say, oh, Maná is pretty good.
They'll think of
Rock
like,
en Español is pretty good. It's like,
the corridos.
They're going to be thinking like, I don't know, man, whatever that cowboy boots kind of sombrero wearing guys do, which is definitely a huge thing. You can't neglect it. And don't get it wrong, we're not ashamed of that stuff. It's part of the culture. It's what made, it's kind of almost like synonymous with cowboys here in the U.S., going back to the old days, where cowboys started rising up. That's kind of translates to Mexico. But I'm glad you brought up Rock En Espanol, because I think now's a good time to rehash that argument we had a few weeks ago when we were drinking some brewskis here with Michael. Do either one of you care to state the argument about Rock En Espanol, Maná? All right, I'll give a little synopsis of what the argument was. So Maná is a huge rock en español. Rock en español is a genre of music where it's kind of rock music.
Spanish rock.
We got to get our terms right, because Spanish rock, you tell somebody who's kind of green to the subject, they're going to think you're talking about rock and roll from Spain.
Rock and Spanish.
Rock en español is a genre for like Mexico and Latin America for rock and roll that's translated into Spanish, right? Or they create their own rock and roll genre. I mean, obviously they have American and English influences, but it's no doubt that the biggest rock en español success-wise is Maná. They've had so many number one hits. They're the best. Yeah, they're the goats of rock en español in Latin America and Mexico, whatever, Central America, the whole world probably, honestly.
They've had the most success.
Yeah, they've had the most success, all right? So no, you can't argue that, because the facts support that, all right? But then you guys came up, because there's obviously, a lot more rock en español subgroups, groups who also do rock en español, who you guys, and I still don't know what your argument was. Either way, it was kind of stupid. You guys were saying, you guys were saying, and the way I understood it, the way I took it, was that you guys were saying, hey, Maná's the GOAT, nobody's going to deny that, they've had the most success, but they don't have the best rock music. There's other groups that have better rock music. You got Héroes de Silencio, you got Soda Stereo, Enanitos Verdes, Caifanes.
Our argument, and I started the argument, right, against you and Dad, and Jonathan kind of came and backed me up because he agreed. But the argument that we were making wasn't at all a knock on Maná being the GOAT.
It was a little bit, dude. That's how it came out.
My thing is that overall, as a Spanish rock group, they're the best. Mm-hmm. They've been the most successful. They're world known. They've been great. Mm-hmm. They have the most number one hits on the radio. They've just everything that you want to tick off the box as Spanish rock, they've done, right? They're the leaders in every aspect. All I said is that when you get into some Spanish rock stuff that really, as a rocker gets you up and dancing, I said there's other groups, Héroes del Silencio, Soda Stereo, Enanitos Verdes,
Caifanes, Hombres G.
You get into that discussion, they're not on the Maná level, and that's what I told you. I'm not arguing that. I'm not saying that they're here parallel with Maná. I just say when you take some of their greatest hits, granted, they have nowhere close to as many top hits as Maná, but when you take some of their best songs, like one of my favorite songs is Héroes del Silencio song, right, Entre Dos Tierras.
You want to give us a little 10-second rendition of that?
No. Entre Los Tierras. That's one of my favorite Spanish rock songs, and I think when I compare that, I what I was saying is that you can compare that to some of Maná's best Spanish rock songs. I'm not saying that Héroes del Silencio is up there with Maná. I just said song for song.
Well, you can't even do that.
Songs compete with some of Maná's.
No, and what I was arguing was no, you can't even do that, because if you're gonna go like pound for pound, their rock songs. I get what I get, and I conceded to your argument. There's definitely more rock en español groups who have more heavy metal, more of a hard rocker kind of theme to it than Maná. Because I think your argument was like, Maná has a lot more like pop songs. And I said, no, it's rock en español. But your point is there's other more hardcore rock songs that are more hardcore rock than Maná. I said, yeah, that's definitely true. But you can't say that song's better than Maná. And I said, because you just look at the numbers. There's no way that those songs were over Maná songs. No, there's no case of that.
No, but what you're going based on numbers. I was like, we were saying they can't compete with Maná based on numbers, right? But to us, numbers don't matter, right? Mariposa Traicionera, but in the numbers, right?
And we're going to be doing this a lot, folks, because I'm probably going to have to take a little break in a bit here as well. Like my brother Mike did. I'm feeling it. It's coming in. I haven't broken the seal yet, but...
All I'm trying to say is we're on agreement that Maná is the best, right? Maná. Well, I'm saying like freaking...
I know. I was going to call you. Don't you ever say it. Maná is the best. Maná way.
Maná is the best, right? We went to the concert. They put on a great show. Thrice. No,
Twice.
But I agree, they're the best, right? Pound for pound, nobody can compete with them, right? Rock En Espanol, they're the best. But all I'm saying is when you come down and somebody says, hey, put Rock En Espanol on, are you going to put Mariposa Traicionera on? Or are you going to put the...
And I said it depends. I said it depends on the situation, all right? Obviously, it's like in English, you come, you make
like
the case
it's
in
like
America.
U2 and like the Rolling Stones, right? Which one would you say is more... that typical
U2's probably considered way more popular. Not way more,
exactly.
But they're more world-renowned than Rolling Stones.
But they have more like a pop feeling to them.
It's
rock.
It's still rock.
It's still rock, but it's like more pop.
That's what I was saying. Do you want to bang your head and all that headbang? Then
like
go
Rock En Espanol, like...
Go get Trap, that headstrong to take you. You'll do a mosh pit and all that. That's a lot more heavy rock. But you can't say that song is more popular that can compete with... U2, one and all that stuff. No, man.
But one's a little bit more rock.
I said it depends on the
right?
situation. Yeah, there's obviously different degrees. And I said, like Michael said, Edo was the Sancho, his favorite entre dos tierras or los? Entre dos tierras.
All we're trying to say is like, those are good songs. Entre dos tierras.
And I never said that.
All we're saying is they can compete with Maná's
even as good as they are, they can't
too.
compete. Yeah.
Like Oye Mi Amor, Oye Mi Amor. That one is, I think, it's on the same level as Entre dos tierras, right? They're kind of parallel, right? I wouldn't say Oye Mi Amor.
But even then, it depends on the situation. That's what I said. If we're talking about we're at a fucking wedding,
I remember where you're coming from. You can't even compete because
how many times
Oye Mi Amor is way more popular.
You consider like Maná's your favorite Maná song?
That's my point, dude. Every song of Maná is a fucking hit.
No. Okay,
there's not one song that I don't like.
If you get a list of Maná songs and they say play one, you're not gonna say fuck it.
Well, the scenario, right? Let's say
you have one in mind.
I have like 15 of my favorite songs, but yeah, I know, and I get what you're saying. There's definitely Maná songs.
Even if you like
Vivici Naide, right?
That's not really a rock, and that's not a rock song.
And even that's one that a DJ is not gonna play at any party, any get together.
Well, yeah, but it could be same with the Edwards, the Enanitos Verdes, Caifán, all those guys. It depends on the situation. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, look, answer me this, right? You just brought up a great song.
Riddle me this.
Vivici Naide, right? Let's say we're at a club, right? And the night is Rock En Espanol night. Yeah. You think they're going to be playing Vivir tonight or Entre Dos Tierras?
Well, it depends, dude.
No, come on.
Well, let's be real. Vivir tonight, it can probably get mixed into something, and they'll probably use a Maná into a mix.
It's right, just a song itself.
You want to get people jumping, you're going to play Héroes de Silencio.
Well, because why? Right? Why?
Because it's more fast tempo, more heavy rock. You hear that dun 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 kind of guitar.
I wouldn't even classify Vivir tonight as rock.
It's rock. Would you classify like Stained and Creed as rock? With the arms wide open. What is that?
But that song isn't
with the
Blue October, right? Blue October.
That's a Blue October song. It's alternative rock, but it's still rock.
Blue October, right? Hate Me, Hey. That's a rock song. But then you have songs like the one where he's 18-4 balcony, right?
Every song's kind of a rock song. But I'm saying someone like Creed and Stained, because that's kind of what we're saying about Maná, that they're rock, but they're not that heavy metal rock. No, just like Stained and Creed, right?
But there are songs that are a little bit more rock.
It's like,
right?
They get into it, but it's like you're not going to play it to get people up and dancing, but you can't say they're not rock still. So no, they still are, but not too many people are going to dance to this song.
Maná's top rock songs like Oye Mi Amor, right? Rock songs. Clavado en un bar. To me,
what's their most famous rock song is probably the
Me Vale. Yeah. That's a rock song, right? The typical people jump in, Rock En Espanol.
And I think we're arguing two different things now, right? We're arguing based on where you're at, what the environment's like.
That's all I was saying. That's all I was saying.
Me and Jonathan were saying, as far as like rock, shit that's going to get you moving, though, the ones, Enanitos Verdes have more stuff that's more...
Well, not even them, because a lot of their songs are kind of like Maná, like that chill...
But even then, and we've seen it, we've been there as a witness, when you get to some of our, like, quinceañeras, weddings and stuff, when Maná does get thrown out there, Me Vale is probably the one that's played the most, right?
Oye, mi amor.
Do you hear Maná? If you hear Rock En Espanol, is Maná getting played?
Yes.
Why?
Which songs though?
They're more bouncy ones.
Yeah,
Which ones?
Well, the ones that if you're at a quinceañera, the song you're gonna hear is that. Ahora me siento. Come on, man! Don't you ever throw me under the bus
That's
like that again.
Song, dude.
That's a Thalia song, quinceañera, man.
I remember.
Sing it.
We're at a party.
Something. Me siento como una
rosa
quinceañera. God,
no,
people,
but
you're probably gonna hate this podcast because we're just all over the place, man.
no, but let's finish the Rock En Espanol debate, right?
Well,
All
no,
we're saying, can we come to an agreement before we move on? Maná's the best, right?
That's
Rock
all we
En
gotta say,
Espanol
man.
band,
Because y'all were making it seem like they're
best.
overrated.
I mean,
Y'all were
they're
making
the best.
no, because you were getting into your argument and y'all were saying, if anything, Maná should be considered more pop because they're not rock. They have
I
more
still
pop
agree with
songs.
that. They have a lot of pop
You said
songs.
it right now.
Let me get to my point. Like,
It's rock
people
pop,
in Mexico
though.
City, Guadalajara, their rock band like that represent it's Caifanes, right? They're more of a rock band. They have it spray painted like Caifanes. They love Maná and all that, but Maná's more of a pop thing over there. It's not a this is our rock band or
no. The thing is that people Maná so damn popular that it's not so popular.
You know who Mexico likes a lot, and in different
Polanco
areas,
loves me. I know that.
Especially Mexico City, they like Molotov a lot.
Molotov.
And they're
I didn't even
nowhere,
like them,
they're
though.
nowhere close to being big, but that's the group. And they look at it like they stay true to their roots, right?
Yeah.
They didn't fucking branch out and go.
If they could have, they would have. If they could have, they would have. That's where Maná gets all the hate because they're so damn popular. You got all these South American countries, these
they
bands.
feel like they sold out.
Yeah,
right?
like damn, man, you're mainstream now. It's not cool to be with mainstream.
It's just like
no, that's it.
Mexico
though.
loves Maná, right?
No, I don't know, bro. They get a lot of hate, bro. And that's my thing. They get a lot of hate because people like you, they're not real rock. They're not.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they do have more pop songs.
Countries in Central and South America, right? Because I have friends.
Y'all keep it going because I'm gonna take a little one of those pea rings.
I have those. I have friends that are from outside of Mexico, and they're Hispanic, right? And they don't like Maná. They feel like Maná's too mainstream. It's fake. It's phony. It's not that traditional rock. My friend Juan. Shout out to my boy Juan if he's listening. He's my best friend. And I tell you guys that the Spanish rock that I brought that we started listening to, at least me, the Enanitos Verdes, Soda Stereo, Molotov, even, all of that is what he showed me. Because before that, I had never really listened to it. My Spanish rock was Maná, and that was it, And I told him, man, Maná's the best, and I still feel that way. I'm not saying that he changed my mind with that aspect. He was like, man, just branch out. There's a lot of other good stuff out there. Even Spanish rock from Spain is really good. And, Héroes del Silencio and stuff like that. And, listen to it, And what's that singer that died, some years back?
Gustavo Cerati.
Cerati, that was
Soda
his favorite
Stereo.
singer of all time. And he's like, he had a great voice. And I agree. And you look at him, and not only did he have a great voice, but he just had that presence. Like, I'm a rock and roll guy. And I'm gonna put on a show, and for those of you that don't know them, I mean, go YouTube Soda Stereo, and Enanitos Verdes, and you do it in their homeland, whether it be Argentina, Spain, and they go back home. They have fucking hundreds, thousands of people out there, and it's crowded, and it's just like, damn, man, that's amazing what these guys could do, and
well, the whole history of Rock En Espanol can really be. Backtrack to the 80s when it all started. I mean, you really got it started when, the rock movement from England started coming over, the Beatles and all that. You have the Cure and all that. Caifanes claim that they were the Cure of Mexico, right? I mean, if you look at their albums, they're kind of identical to, we all know the Cure, right? The Pictures of You and all that.
Yeah.
Caifanes, they kind of implemented or emulated their style. Yeah. But I mean, Rock En Espanol has been around since like the 80s. I mean, it started in Mexico with E04. You have Maná.
Right?
Yeah. The famous bands from Mexico are like E04, Maná, Café Tacuba, Caifanes,
and those are like old
Elefante. Then you got Argentinian.
Who's the Vampiros? Grupo
I'm getting there. And then you got another famous. You can argue that even more famous in Mexico is Argentina. You have Soda Stereo, de música ligera. And then you got Enanitos Verdes, right? Borracho y loco. Then you got Vampiros, right?
They're Argentinian,
and then you got freaking other bands like Spain and all
Spain,
that.
Right?
You have Hombres G, the Devuelve a mi chica. Then you got Héroes de Silencio. So it's all over the place, right? Rock En Espanol. So I guess what tying all this back to our argument from weeks ago or a month ago, I don't even know how long ago it was, is that I agree Maná is the best Rock En Espanol band, but if you break it down to songs, there's other bands out there that have just as good songs in rock, right? Then that can compete with Maná. What the heck are we doing with Sombrero?
I don't know, Mandy was trying to...
Speaking of Sombrero, did you know, fun fact, before Maná, their first band name was Sombrero Verde?
Before they became Maná.
Right, and they said they were kind of like, they were days away from calling it quits.
Well, their first hit, Rayando el Sol, Fer, the main singer of Maná, said right? that he was living out of his van, or
they
his
were
van.
living out of their van. They would hit up clubs.
He said they were about to call it quits. Like, hey man, we can't do this. This ain't going nowhere. This Sombreros, whatever band they were called. Verde. And he said Fed was in his band one night, our van, and he wrote Rayando el Sol. He goes, they sent it over, they wrote it, and it took off, and they became Maná, man. Greatest of all time.
Now,
greatest of all time.
Any song.
Any song. But